We never thought we'd see as many animals.
How often does somebody go, would you like to ride an ostrich?
It's paradise.
Pretoria is the administrative capital of South Africa. We saw the Union buildings, designed by the great Sir Herbert Baker. He was knighted for his work as an architect. It's an amazing statue which has only recently been erected of Nelson Mandela with his arms out. And then we went to the Voortrekker Monument, which is a monument to the early Boer pioneers. You can take elevators right to the top and you get a splendid view of Pretoria.
Enjoy your day at Pilgrim Rest. It's a nice place.
Well, this is Pilgrim's Rest. It's in Mpumalanga in South Africa, and it's the site of the first ever gold rush that ever occurred in Africa. Gold was discovered here in 1873 and it was a very successful rush. It lasted actually much longer than people expected, and they're still mining gold here to this day.
And we visit God's window, the beautiful view looking down onto the Lowveld.
Welcome Titan to Protea Hotel Kruger Gate.
South Africa, calling you. South Africa, calling you. South Africa.
It's paradise, yes. I looked this place up on the internet and I said I can't wait to stay there, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Protea Kruger Gate Lodge is right on the banks of the Sabi River. From the hotel you're looking into the Kruger Park. So if a game drive starts at 6 o'clock, we can leave the hotel at 5 to 6. The Kruger Park is the largest fenced game reserve in Africa, 22,000 square kilometers. It is larger than Wales or Belgium.
Welcome to Kruger National Park.
It came over the radio, there's lions being spotted, and off we went. It was fantastic.
Which direction did they find that? Right. Over there. He's going up, can you see? Oh yes, yeah. There's another male coming there.
Yeah, look at that.
I can see 1, 2, 3, it's 4 males. Lions are territorial animals. And they mark their territories by spraying in the grass, scratching in the bark of the trees. The male's duty in a territory is to patrol the territory, make sure that there's no intruders coming in the territory. But the female's duty in a territory is to look after the young ones, the babies. Lions, when they are full, they can go up to 6-7 days without eating. But the females cannot go to 7 days without eating because they have to feed themselves and feed the young ones. So inside the territory, female lions are making most of the kills.
We'd been to one area and we had to quickly go back to see the lions, and that was amazing. We're all sort of looking and shouting, what's that, seeing something, you know, it's just so exciting.
I shouted elephants and we backed up and there's 20 crossing the road behind us.
They were that close that you almost felt like you could reach out and touch them.
Elephant genital organs are all inside. Not easy to see which one is a male or a female, but you look at the forehead. That's how you can differentiate which one is a male or a female. I always show people with my hand, if you see a round forehead, that is a male, but if you see flat and down, that is a female. Guys, that looks like a leopard. Leopard is always solitary, and when they kill their prey, they always drag their prey up on a tree. That's where they eat their food. To us as guides, finding a leopard, we are very lucky. Yes. A buffalo is the most dangerous animal among the big five. If you are doing a walk in the bush and you come across a lion, will growl at you to give you a warning, or leopard will growl at you to give you a warning, or elephant will just trumpet. But this guy, because he grew up in a family where he's protected, and now he has to protect himself. So anything that is coming on his way is a threat. He has to fight it. He just wait for you behind the bush, he ambush and knock you down. A male rhino is a territorial animal, and they mark their territories by defecating in one place, spraying in the bush, and when they mark the territories, they make sure that inside the territory there is enough water, food to attract the females to come in their territories.
We saw 4 of the big 5 the first day, plus a cheetah, and then next day we saw all big 5. Fantastic.
I thought the giraffes were just gorgeous.
We sat having lunch and we got our picnic boxes and a monkey came on the table, jumped on the table and nicked my apple.
There's also an optional tour to do a night safari. There you've got the sunset. Of course, it's a completely different feel because you're in the bush at night. You've got the nocturnal species, and it's exclusive because only the national park can operate a tour after sunset into the park.
When they want to mate, they first have a big meal, then the male and the female separate themselves. They stay together for 2 to 3 weeks. They can mate up to 30-35 times a day.
It was absolutely amazing. We got a bit worried at one stage with the elephant because it came right up to us. I thought it was going to come into the vehicle.
That was very close, but the elephant was actually not showing the sign of aggressiveness. It was very calm. So you saw it put the trunk down and they didn't actually pick up our smell. So the wind direction was in our favor. So it was very safe.
And then we saw the lion.
Yeah, and a cub.
Little.
And they were absolutely beautiful.
The cubs were very skittish, and you saw the lioness that looked like it's biting it. This is the way you to stimulate it, not to come close to us.
A wonderful experience.
Yeah, wonderful
Absolutely,
experience.
the best one.
You're in the middle of a national park that's surrounded by wild animals. There's areas there where you can just sit out and you can see the sunset and a glass of wine in front of that. You really can't get any better than it.
We left Kruger, flew to Port Elizabeth, an hour and 20 minutes flight, and stayed in Port Elizabeth. And the next morning, we left to travel down the glorious garden route with a stop in the surfing paradise, Jeffreys Bay. We went down to Storms River mouth at Tsitsikamma National Park. The Tsitsikamma, the forest of the clear waters, the whole area is indigenous vegetation. We travelled down to the restaurant at the mouth of the river where one can go on hikes down to the mouth of the river. Often you see whales.
But we also saw those, I forget what they're called, that sit on the rocks that are descendant from elephants, apparently.
The rock hyrax.
To furry rabbits.
And we stop at the Blowkrans River Bridge, the highest commercial bungee jump in the world, 216 meters. And anyone over 60 can go for free, no strings attached. Now, Neisner was first discovered by George Rex, who was supposedly the illegitimate son of George III. Tourists coming out from all over the world. We've got the Featherbed Nature Reserve, which is absolute winner.
Once you've departed off the boat, we'll put you on the 4x4 army vehicle that we've got, the Unimog, which will then drive you up the mountain. As we get you to the top of the mountain, we do an optional 2-kilometre walk down on the rock faces. So it's literally the point of the peninsula is where we'll walk down. Beautiful views. It's views that nobody else can see because it is private land.
The scenery, you can't describe to people what that's like. I mean, you can take photographs, but they don't tell you how lovely it is.
We got a nice bit of exercise, saw quite a lot of birds and a lot of different plants and different species of trees and things. It's really interesting. We even saw quite a rare wild orchid.
This is an estuary. Estuary means that it's connected both by the ocean and the river. It's saltwater and freshwater mixed together, and the temperatures in summer, they rise quite high because of the warm currents that we've got coming through. We've got the Cape Fur seal. We've got 2 residents that live in the estuary. They have their own private beach. We've got dolphins and the whales that come through, southern rights, humpbacks. It's abundant with wildlife and nature. Beautiful place to live.
The setting was fantastic. The hotel just being right on the waterfront. Brilliant walks. The nature reserve was very good. And JJ's restaurant, never had such good food at that price.
We leave Neisner and then we cross over the Outeniqua Mountains. The landscape changes to a semi-desert.
The diversity of the countryside in South Africa has really blown me away.
Flatland, mountains, rivers, every corner you go around is different.
The ostrich is the largest flightless bird, also the fastest. You get to hold eggs, see babies, touch them. You get to ride the ostrich.
Riding the ostrich was definitely a highlight for me.
It's quite the opposite of riding horses. You have to lean back with ostriches.
I mean, I'm terrified of birds. I just couldn't have done that for all the tea in China.
We just basically show you that you can ride an ostrich, but for a very short period. It's handled with care, and that's why we have weight limits and everything restricted on the birds.
Cape Town is the mother city. And we call it the fairest Cape because Sir Francis Drake, when he circumnavigated the globe, landed in the Cape, he said, and I quote, "In the whole circumference of the globe, this is the fairest Cape we saw." The Cape Peninsula Tour, one of the great drives in the world. We go down to Cape Point. Included is a trip up the funicular to the lighthouse at the top. We also take people to the Cape Good Hope specifically. That cape is the most southwestern tip of the African continent.
I really enjoyed going down to the Cape of Good Hope, and that was really quite special. And I was pleased that it was all free. You could have a photograph taken with the sign.
Just no commercialisation at all, basically.
In the coach, just driving along, and all of a sudden there's 5 ostriches coming through and 8 baby chicks. Yeah, just going across the road in front of the coach. There's so much wildlife, it's brilliant.
Their own natural habitat, all the little babies were just amazing.
I love coastlines, and to see the waves breaking over the rocks, and then to see all the animals and everything as well. It's been brilliant.
We then drive down the eastern side of the peninsula to Boulders Beach to go and see the African penguins, also known as the jackass penguins, because of the sound the male makes in the mating season. Sounds like a jackass.
The penguins were just magic, the way they just waddle about, I thought it was brilliant.
Table Mountain, people come from all over the world. The top of the mountain is 1,069 meters high, and it was below the ocean at one time. The whole Cape Peninsula was. There are over 2,000 different species of plants on Table Mountain. It's a World Heritage Site and a national park.
Our tour guide is very, very experienced, not just in the travel business. He's done many, many, many different things in his lifetime.
Oh, he's just lovely. He's really great. He's a mine of information.
He's passed on an awful lot of information that we would never, ever have come across.
We got married 2 weeks ago today. It's been a fantastic honeymoon. Titan offered the opportunity to do a lot of different things and go and see a lot of different places and a lot of different environments.
We've been in Dayton.
This is our 6th one.
I think they've been excellent value for money.
Yeah. We just wanted something totally different that we've not seen before, and this is it. It's ideal.
Well, since I was a child, I've always wanted to come here. My father travelled all over the world, and this was one of the places. He loved more than it. He loved more than anything. In April, I broke my leg in 3 places, but I'm here, and I've not stopped me doing anything at all. It's far more than you could ever expect. Everything, even the weather, has been so perfect.